Thank you, Lascia and Corla. First of all, I just want to thank Deputy O'Callaghan and his team for their work on this PMB. There are currently 11 properties for rent in Cork South West on Daft, and there are fewer than 80 homes under €250,000 to buy between all of the major towns in West Cork. It's a beautiful part of the world with strong communities. It's the type of place that people want to live. Unfortunately, like many areas of Ireland, young families and others simply cannot afford to buy a home there. Affordable housing is rare, and social housing lists are unacceptably long, and even worse if you have a disability. The reality for so many people of my generation is that home ownership is not possible. In the past 8 years, house prices have doubled, growing by more than 12% in the last year alone. Rents have also doubled in a decade, while housing costs have skyrocketed, wages have flatlined, and low pay is endemic. The situation is getting even worse. Many people now can't even find a place to rent, even at unimaginably expensive cost. Owning a home is just a pipe dream. This didn't just happen. It is not some accident. It is the result of deliberate policy choices by Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael governments over the past 2 decades. The actions of this government are not only perpetuating the problem, they are making it worse. And now, government intends to gift $450 million to developers to subsidise the construction of apartments that will be sold at full market price. This is a disgraceful use of taxpayers' money. It's almost unbelievable, but the Minister is planning to give up to $144,000 per apartment for developers who can then sell them for up to $450,000 each. This is gifting public money to private developers. In the same week that the government is giving a €1 billion hospital to a private company, it is giving almost $500 million to developers. If it weren't so serious, it would be farcical. $500 million could build affordable homes in communities across Ireland. It could give young families and others a chance at owning a home. It could transform the lives of thousands of people. Instead, the government is giving it to developers. How can anyone stand over that deal? Giving subsidies of up to $144,000 per apartment to developers rather than ordinary people. It is the clearest statement of this government's priorities. As the housing crisis gets worse and worse and worse, you seem to have no idea of the realities facing families. Research has shown that the number of new homes available for individuals to buy last year fell to its lowest level in years, to fewer than 6,000. The Parliamentary Budget Office, which is independent, recently concluded that home ownership among adults of working age between 25 to 54 in Ireland has collapsed. Instead of building homes for families, investment funds are buying up homes and building to rent. Dereliction is another major issue that is disgracefully not being addressed. There are thousands of buildings dilapidating across this country. Activists in Cork City have identified over 700 derelict buildings within 2 kilometres of Cork City centre. The same can be said for Bandon, Bantry, Skibbereen and other towns and villages across Cork. Large buildings in the centre of the community that could house families are left idle and are falling into disrepair. The Minister visited Clonakilty, Skibbereen and other parts of West Cork this week, and I hope you were shown the very many derelict buildings. There are also many formerly fine farmhouses that are left to decay and collapse. If the government is serious about supporting rural Ireland, dereliction needs to be tackled. So far, government policies to address this major issue have proven to be ineffectual and inadequate. Reporting vacant sites has essentially been made the responsibility of the general public. And there are no vacancy reduction targets in the government's Housing for All plan, not to mention that the vacant home housing unit only has 1 staff member. It's incredibly disheartening for communities to see buildings crumbling before their eyes. Sites that could have cost a few thousand to do up will now cost hundreds of thousands due to government inaction. It's even more frustrating and distressing for families searching for homes, witnessing buildings being left idle. The time to act is now. The almost €150,000 the Minister is giving to developers for each apartment would make a massive difference in converting buildings in places like Bandon and Kinsale to home, or saving farmhouses across Ireland.
Míle mágad.